coming into the live stream right now, we are streaming on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, as well as YouTube. If you can give me a heads up of where you're at, where you're located, and how your challenge is going so far, that would be awesome. Would love to see how many of you are enjoying this process. I can see we've got a few people jumping in. Just let me know where you're watching from, and if you have already started your challenge, or if you're just now getting started, or you're having trouble with the app. We're going to answer a lot of those questions, but I want to give a few minutes for individuals to jump on and see kind of what's going on. So super excited though. Today is one of my favorite exercises with the squishy ball, and or if you just have a yoga block or a rolled up towel, whatever you have to work with is awesome. And yes, hi from snowy Indiana. Yes, so I'm in Indiana. We had a snow day today, so my daughter couldn't go to school because you can't travel on the roads right now because they're so slick and the roads are drifted shut. So we just got finished sledding, not even like 45 minutes ago, so my hands are still trying to warm up. But hello from Houston. I see we've got some individuals that are kind of floating back and forth from different. Okay, yes, I'm seeing. Okay, so hi, Cindy. Hi, Jennifer from Jersey. We've got Jackie from Tennessee and Debbie from California. Oh, I would so crave some California weather right now. It depends, I guess depends on which part of California, upstate or SoCal you're from. And Nebraska, loving it. So we've got people from all over one coast to the other, which is exciting. And Arizona, hello, Laura. I'm super excited to see everybody jumping in. Look, I know that you guys are so frustrated with the app, and that's why I'm here to show you kind of how to use that. Here to talk about a lot of the rules, and if you guys have questions about some of the exercises, we are on day 4 now. So if you're having trouble with any of the exercises and you want to put in the comment or the chat section, I'm watching things as they're popping through. I will be happy to give you some modifications if you need them, because we want you to be able to do this stuff. So for those of you who have been following along from the very beginning, you're going to see that we have a lot of variety coming in. Of course, this week, starting on Monday, I'm just starting from the ground up because everything we do starts from where our feet are in contact with the ground for most of us. So I always like to start from strengthening through the feet first and working our way up through the torso. So next week, you're going to get the arms part, and then a little bit of abdominal and core. And then the third week, we just throw it all in together, and that's when you guys are going to get what you're probably wanting a little bit of a taste of an amber workout later in the month. But for those of you who are enjoying this challenge, I'm so excited to hear that, because when we first talked about doing this, it was kind of like, okay, first of all, how many workouts can Amber teach in several days to be able to get all of these pre-recorded so we can launch them like day after day after day in case something happens to me and I don't get the workouts done the day before, or however that could work. So I recorded all of these videos in advance so that we could have all of our ducks in a row. But I'm sharing with you, being a sports medicine professional, being a strength coach, I've got a long list of certifications of different specialties, and as well as defining core from inside to outside, pelvic floor, diaphragm, all of that stuff. Recovering from 8 spinal injuries, learning to walk again. So I have been through the ringer, and that was after I had already graduated from my undergraduate program in sports medicine and exercise science / kinesiology. So wanted to be able to start you all on a very basic level. And I know some of you are hungry for much more, but trust me, if you do those basics for the whole 10 minutes, your body will be screaming if those muscles are not already working as they are. So I hope that you're enjoying it. It's going to get more challenging for the many of you who are craving that Amber Challenge. I like to say Amber Challenge. But if you are intimidated about what's coming, it's okay, because again, I'm going to teach you the very basic level. And if we have to continue to go backwards, meaning not regressing, but starting from a different modification for some of you who are limited. I had somebody who contacted me, had just had foot surgery. So, she can't be weight bearing on one of her feet because she's got a boot on. So I gave her some suggestions of it as to how to do the challenge this week, since a lot of it involves your feet on the platform. So I've done modifications for so many different clients over the last 20 years, and just here in the last couple of years, I've been doing a lot of rehab work with the platforms. So truly, this brain is chiming and churning out ideas all of the time. And so there's nothing that we can't do together. I just need you all to communicate with me, or at least post it on the VIP groups, so that our excellent team that is behind me can help notify me. Hey, Amber, we don't know the answer to this question. Can you please make sure and make some time to reach out to these people? And we've been doing that because I can't do it all on my own. So, and Joel definitely can't do it all on his own. So we are all so thankful for all of you. And we've got a huge team working behind me. So I want to give a heads up to Cassie, a heads up to Brianna, because you guys have been cranking at the bit to make sure that we get all this stuff done and pulled together to create this exciting opportunity for so many of you to be able to get comfortable with the platforms, or at least knowing how to start. If you don't know how to start, it's very intimidating. But I don't want you to worry about getting hurt. We're going to make sure and provide you the opportunities to modify as you need to. Okay, so let's get going. I know you're all frustrated with the app. I know you're all frustrated with how to keep track of points, how to list points, how many points are there available, and where can you find the workouts, not getting the emails, yada, yada, yada. I totally understand your frustration. I would be frustrated too. So again, we only have so much control over how some of this stuff comes together with technology and with the little kinks in the system when we're trying to collaborate it all together. So again, kudos to our marketing and our PR team and our tech team who is trying to put out all these little bugs as they come up. So with the Gym Rat app, I know it sounds funny, right? They have been going through so many different apps to be able to include everybody without having to have an underlying membership, without having to cost extra money, what have you. And the Gym Rat app was the most applicable for the audience and the wide variety of user-friendly individuals to be able to understand how to use it. So I want to make sure that you're all understanding. You don't have to use the app if you don't want to, but if you're wanting to keep track of points and you're wanting to compete for that prize at the end, which is a flex stride, then you're gonna have to use the app. If you just want to go straight to the videos and just have access to Amber a day for 21 days in a row, you don't have to, to register in order to do that. But we want to know that you're doing it with us so that we can find out how you're enjoying it. And the only way that we can do that is through interaction through our social media VIP group on Facebook, through the app. There's different ways to communicate on the app. And so if you're having fun without keeping track of points and you're just having fun by just doing the exercises, then I'm so excited for you. We want to make sure that you're able to access those videos without frustration, without having to go back and find the email instructions. So if you are having trouble finding the videos, if you go on YouTube, every video is released every morning, Eastern Standard Time, and all you have to do is go to the Life Pro page for YouTube, or just type in at the top, Life Pro 21, okay? If you type in Life Pro 21 and Amber, it's all gonna come up there for you. You're gonna see a list of videos. And the videos are, I know they're shorter than a lot of you had hoped that they would be, but I promise there's a reason for that. I'm trying to keep it very quick, short, simple, to the point, so that those who are trying to learn new things and don't want the extra complexity, it would be really hard for me to teach 21 10-minute workouts. Like, do you have any idea how much strain that is on my body over the matter of several days, trying to get all those videos pre-recorded? And that goes against what we try and promote. So just giving you little exercises to try out, different techniques that you can mingle with, and how to advance those, or how to modify and regress those exercises so that you can find what you truly like. Then you can comment to me what you really like, and then I can put together those 10-20-minute workouts that you're going to crave, and we're able to, give to all of you what you want because you've had a taste of it. If you haven't had a taste of it, you really aren't given a fair shake at some of the opportunities you have available with trying some of these exercises. So let's make sure, even if it seems too easy, I'm going to tell you, these exercises pack a real punch for those who are super strong and for those who are super weak. So I want you to have fun with them. We have listed a link to the videos on the broadcast here. So there's the direct link to the videos. There's a direct link to the challenge. When you click on that link for the challenge, it's going to give you a list of instructions on how to access the GymRat app. Now, because I already have all this on my phone, it's going to be very hard for me to go through and actually show you, the process as if I were doing it for the first time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull up the links as you have seen it on your screen. And so I've already created, trying to make sure you guys can all see that. With the glare and stuff, it's hard. But you see the 21-day challenge app. I have sent this and I have posted this I don't know how many times in the VIP group. But what you're going to do is you're going to click the challenge, okay? And the challenge is going to take you to our direct website, okay? And on our direct website, it's going to give you all of the instructions. So here's the 21-day challenge, and it's going to say how to participate. And if you can see, there is a box down there at the bottom that has orange highlighting. That is your code for the app. But if you just tap on the link, you don't have to have the code. It just automatically kicks it in. At least it did for mine, and I have an iPhone. So if we click on the Share GymRats app, now for me, I've already downloaded it. So it's already showing you how to get into, the programming. It's really hard to figure out where I'm at in the screen here. And it tells you how many days are left. And so you're going to see, this is what my screen looks like when I open the app every day. Okay, that's what the screen looks like. And you can see that we've got people already listed. Now, when it comes to actually uploading your point, this is where it's getting tricky. You're going to tap on the red button at the bottom. Tap on that button, and you're going to get what looks like, hold up here, let me see if I can, there we go. You're going to get, you can use your Apple Health information if you have an Apple Watch, or your app. You can use a camera, or you can take a picture from your photo library of what you've already used. If you don't want to show a picture of yourself, then just show a picture of your device that you're doing it, or you can take a picture of me demonstrating it on YouTube so that we have access knowing that you have observed the video for the day. And so for me, I have already, I'm going to just do this. This is just an example, but my daughter and I, we went outside to play today and played in the snow. So I'm going to use that as my example. And we're going to hit, so after I pull up the picture that I want to use, I'm going to hit done. Make sure that whatever picture you're wanting to use actually shows up in the box. Now, from here, you're going to see title there at the top, okay? And I know this is really hard to see because of my phone. There we go. You're going to see title at the top. I want you to put in there Day 4 Amber Challenge or Life Pro Challenge or Day 4. Keep it simple, okay? Day 4. That works for me. It already has the date. I'm going to talk about how to change that here in just a second. When we go down, we're going to drop all the way down to the bottom where it says data. Down there where it says data at the bottom of your screen, do you see points? Very cool. Don't worry about the rest because we don't care about the rest. If you're going longer, if you're going distance, if you're going calories, fantastic if you want to keep track of all that, but you don't have to. You do have to keep track of your points though. So at the very bottom where it says points, you're going to tap point. And then the number key comes up and you're going to tap 1. No more than 1 point for each one of these. So I screwed up on this earlier in the week. I'm guilty. So you're going to tap 1 and done. And then at the very top, you're going to see it says post. And you're going to post. And we're uploading, and there is Amber and Zoe with 1 point, okay? Now, that's an activity point. You only get 1 participation point per day, all right? So let me go back and explain that. So what I mean by that is if you do the challenge of the day, Today it's the squishy ball or the yoga block or the rolled up towel, squeezies in between the legs. If you do that 2 times 10 minutes or 3 times 10 minutes, or you do it 2 or 3 times a day, you only get 1 point. That's it, just one, okay? So the question is, how do I get more than 1 point? Because some people are showing up with 4 and 5 points. How is that possible? Well, we're going to go back, okay? So there's that. We're going to go back, and you're going to upload your picture with your challenge to one of the social media groups. So whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Twitter, trying to think, what am I forgetting? Snapchat, any one of those, if you're wanting to, or TikTok, if you're wanting to upload into any of those, you're going to take a picture or the same picture you've already taken, and you're going to tap on the red button. We're going to follow the process all over again, okay? But what's really important is you upload your video or you upload your picture to whatever media outlet you're wanting to use. So for instance, yesterday I did a boomerang on Facebook, my little happy dance, right? Okay, I took a picture of that, showing that I was actually doing that. And then if I were to do that on here, so I will actually go through and do this. So I'm going to type in my library. I'm going to pull up the picture from yesterday, my happy dance picture. Hang on here. Okay, so there's the happy dance picture, right? So we're going to click done. And then I'm going to put on here at the very top, that was for day 3. Okay, so I'm going to put day 3 happy dance Facebook, or FB. FB works too. Whatever social media outlet you use is fine. You can do IG for Instagram, TK or TT for TikTok, or you can do Snapchat, SC, whatever works for you. But we just have to have an actual photo of that, a photo of you engaging in that social media application. And then from here, we're going to type in 1 point down at the bottom, and we're going to post, and then you get an extra point. So you might be posting, let's see here, hold up, wait for it. There we go. So there you see Amber Happy Dance Facebook, okay? And when you actually tap on it, it will show up as 1 point earned, okay? And then we can go in and comment. So if you're wanting to earn 4 points, you're going to have to enter that photo 4 times, showing which outlets you're using on social media. I know it's tedious, but for those of you that are diehard go-getter competitors and you want that $199 Flex Stride that we had on sale a few weeks ago when we launched it for $159, this is your opportunity for a free piece of equipment with the Flex Stride. We are going to go back and keep track of points. So whoever is showing up as first place on the 21st day, our marketing PR team is going to go back through and check every single entry. So don't cheat or you'll get caught. And for those of you who are just like, oh my gosh, I don't have a chance because Joe Schmo has already got 5 points and I have 1 point and I suck because I'm just getting started. Yeah, don't do that. Because if Joe Schmo screws up on his point tabulation and your points are really up there neck to neck with him, maybe you're down by 5, then you might actually have a chance to pull into the leader spot and not even realizing it. So don't give up. If you don't care about the Flex Stride and you just want to be part of the camaraderie with me and everybody else, then you don't have to enter it into all the social media applications. If you want to apply it to social media applications, but you don't want to take credit for it on here through points, that's fine too. We love all of that, but you have to enter your points through the app or it doesn't work. If you post to the VIP group and you don't, take that post and include it into the GymRat app, and you say, well, I uploaded on all these posts, there's my proof. We have to go back and track it in the app because we would be searching this stuff for a long time in order to find it. So I'm trying to make it a little bit easier on our crew because they've done such a phenomenal job trying to get this up and running. Okay, yes. Okay, so the question here coming from Laura is, can we correct any that we've entered incorrectly? Absolutely. Go back and do that. So let's try that. Okay, I'm going to go into the GymRat up, and I'm going to go back to let me go back to an earlier day. Let me find myself here. And boy, we've got a lot of people who have posted here. Yay, this is so awesome. This is the first time I've actually taken the time to go back through and double check things. So hooray, hooray for all of you guys. I'm so proud of you. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is my, I had to scroll for a while. So this is my day 3 happy dance from yesterday. We're gonna go up on an iPhone. You have, whoops, there we go. We have 3 little dots. It's hard to see. 3 little dots up there. There we go. Underneath where my battery is, 3 little dots. Tap on that. When you tap on that, it's going to say either remove the workout or edit. You're going to go in and edit. And then from here, then you can go down there to the points and you can tap on points. See, I cheated. I did it wrong. I didn't do it on purpose either. I was confused just like all of you. So I'm going to go back through here and try and correct this. There we go. Oh, there we go. So we got 1 point tabulated. And now I have earned 1 point. So yes, you can go back in and track. Now, I know what's coming up next. I'm just entering the challenge on day 5 or day 6, and then I want to be able to go back and do all the other challenges. How am I able to get credit, or is it even worth me trying? Yes, it's absolutely worth you taking credit. So when you go in and you add into the app, when you go into the app and you tap on that red dot, you're going to enter in whatever day's video you just finished. So let's say you have to do four days of videos in one day. You can go in and create an entry, but don't put day 6 if you're doing day 1. So make sure, like if you're starting the challenge, let's say if you started the challenge on Wednesday and you missed Monday, Tuesday, on Wednesday, you're going to complete Monday and Tuesday, and you're going to take a picture of you completing those 2 exercise series, and then you're going to enter them separately. Day 1, complete, whatever. Day 2, complete, and you can put your picture, and then you can put the points, the point at the bottom, and then it will show up in the sequencing. So it's no different than going back and having to edit a workout that you've already completed. So that's the easiest way to explain that. But you only get one point per day for participation. So if you're doing the participation for earlier in the week, you have to enter them in separately. So you can enter them all on the same day, but you have to enter day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 separate, and you have to enter the points, and you have to show a photo that you've done the exercise or that you're seeing me doing the video. Because I know some of you are very particular. You don't want to take a picture of yourself. You don't like the way your feet look. You don't have your toenails painted, or maybe you've got hammer toes, or you got black nails, or you got something crazy going on. I totally get it. I see feet all the time, and I love feet. But not everybody likes to have their body parts photographed and uploaded to the social media and to GymRat. So if you just need to take a picture of, the screen on your device that it's actually working, or hold up your band, or hold up your squishy ball, and have somebody, do that, that's fine. Whatever you need to do in order to take credit for the day. Okay, let's talk about not receiving emails. If you're not receiving emails, for whatever reason, there has been potentially a little glitch in our system. And so if you submitted your email and you have checked spam and you haven't been able to locate any information about joining all of this, then please feel free to send us an email or post it under this little grouping of videos. If you still have re-registered, not necessarily re-registered, but if you still have gone through and entered in through the Life Pro site that you're participating and you haven't gotten anything as far as a confirmation, then make sure and post it below that you've checked your spam. And they have I think they had to go back through and fix something in the system that collaborates together with, because when we have all these different layers of systems working together, there's going to be little bugs. And unfortunately, we're at the receiving end of those bugs, but we're not going to let the bugs get the best of us, because we have each other and we have our workouts, and that's really all we need, right? So just send an email or send a post underneath of this little series once we upload this, or you can go into the group, the VIP group. Don't list it on the regular Facebook page. Make sure you do it in the VIP group, because things get back and forth and it can get a little challenging. So let me double check here. I have a list of things that I'm supposed to make sure that I'm double checking to make sure based on what the feedback is for everybody else. Okay. Okay, so real quick, what is the right way to do something and what is the wrong way to do something? So if you go in and let's say you are taking a photo and you're doing entry under day 3 and you don't put the point in, but you show the entry and you show the picture that you have done it on Facebook, but you don't have a point in your little entry, that's not going to be one of the correct forms for them to go back and check. So even if you've shown that you've done it, but you haven't listed the points, that's where it can create a challenge at the end because they're going to go back and see which login for all of you, which identity for all of you has logged the most points, and they're going to go back and check all of those points. But if you've logged it and you haven't given yourself a point, then those points don't tabulate in the data over the long haul. So as many people, there are hundreds of people doing this challenge. So we have to be sensible about how many man hours we spend trying to count points. And when we have this system that will do all the data and analytics for us, it would be silly to not take advantage of that. So just make sure that you're listing your points, that you're listing your photos, and that, like, for instance, I'm going to show you this picture that they sent me from the group. So one of these says Facebook. Let's see here. This one right here. This one right here says day 2 Instagram. And this one right here says Facebook day 2. That's all you got to do is put the day, which social media outlet you have posted the picture to, and you can use the same picture for the same entry if it saves you time, but just make sure we know which one of those social media platforms that you have uploaded it to. So now I'm going to go through questions here really quick so that I can answer those who have been curious. And JDM, I'm seeing just ordered a wave vibration plate. Would love to know the best settings and exercises to start with fibromyalgia pain, joint and ligament pain, and lymphatic drainage, how often and how long. Okay, so this is going to go back to our regular everyday standard protocol, if you will. You're going to start on a low-level setting because fibromyalgia is autoimmune related, and if you have joint and ligament pain, it's because there's extra inflammation in your body. So if we're trying to facilitate lymphatic drainage, you're going to want to make sure that you use a lower level setting. So when you read through your owner's manual that came with that, you're going to check out how many preset programs are with the waiver. I can't remember off the top of my head because we have so many platforms and my brain can only keep track of so many different programs. But with the wave platform, choose like a 1 to a 3 for inflammation to help with that. And if you want to start from day 1 on the challenge, because that's the best way to start, I started from, if you're just taking it out of the box, this is how you do it. So you're going to start from day 1, and if I remember right, seated position with legs apart, using just toes and wiggling, and see how you handle that for 5 minutes. If you feel great, then go ahead and increase that to 10 minutes. And if you feel great, then do it later on that evening for another 10 minutes before you go to bed on P1. And then wait and see what you feel like the next day. And if you feel fresh and magical and new and don't feel any aches and pains and you don't have any extra fluid or any extra edema going on, then you can repeat again. So you just have to start with less is better concept on this one. And if you start to go through some detox or lymphatic drainage symptoms, there's a video on YouTube that I posted almost a year ago on how the vibration platforms work for lymphatic drainage and for detox. All of that information is in that video. There's been, I want to say, 20,000 views for that video on YouTube. So type in on YouTube, LifePro Amber Detox or LifePro Amber Lymphatic. And it's going to tell you everything you need to know and then more you wanted to know about all that. I even talk about poop on there. So it talks about everything, but all the information about detox and lymphatic drainage and inflammation factors, the symptoms of inflammation, the symptoms of going through detox, what to do in that situation. Go back and follow that video because I hold your hand through that whole process in that video, and the information in there is invaluable. So how do I join the challenge? That one just popped up. You're going to find a link if you scroll down. If you don't find the link, go to the VIP group and there will be links all over the place because I think I have entered that link. Oh, there we go. Right there, Alice. It's right there at the top. Click on that. And then when you click on it, then you're going to follow the directions. And if you follow the directions and still have trouble, come back and rewatch this stream because that's what this stream is all about, is working out the kinks. But you shouldn't have any trouble for the most part. It's just we've been able to work out some of those little turns in the different software programs coming together. And so we go with that. All right. So just got my replacement unit today. So we're going to be starting out a little bit later. So awesome. So just get started whenever you want to get started. If you find that one of the exercises is not feeling so good for you, let's say coming up next week, we're going to be doing some work with some dumbbells. And let's say when you start doing those exercises, you really don't feel good doing those because, you know, moving your arms a certain way really can flare things up for some of you. And when that happens, or if you start to feel that in the middle of a workout and you want to stop, then go back and do like one of the exercises from, you know, this past week and see what you can do to finish out that day. Give yourself credit for doing the day or for attempting to do the exercise. And if you know that you can't attempt to do the exercise, participate, but type in like day 7 or whatever, and just do another day so that you can at least keep up with the challenge. We cannot penalize you if you're physically challenged to not be able to do it because of physical restrictions. So we're not going to make that an unfair thing for you. Daddy alpaca. I think I like that. Do you fart? Absolutely you do. That is one of the greatest forms of detox. So if you're gassy, then lots of pooping, lots of peeing, lots of gassiness, lots of belching, starting to sweat and your sweat starts to smell, that is detox for you. So if you do fart, yes, that is a sign of detox. Have fun with that. We always come up with funny things at my house to celebrate those things without making it. I know some of you are like, oh my gosh, like we try and ignore that. But we have fun with some of those things because it's just a natural thing in our body that we really can't control necessarily, or we can, but we don't want to have to control it through medicine if we don't have to, unless that's just your choice. So it gets all of that stuff mobile. And so if you have trouble with constipation, you're going to find in that video on YouTube, it helps to move stuff. That's part of what the lymphatic channels do. That's what detox does. So that is okay, Cameron. So the question is to do with farting, and we call that a shart here in Indiana. I know some of you are probably really laughing about this, didn't think that this was going to be like a bodily fluid conversation, but I love these conversations. So yes, so if you are pushing a little bit extra than just air, that is totally normal. Just make sure you got some wet wipes handy, or dude wipe as they now provide, and just go with it, because that's water. Water is the other secret. Water and electrolytes. So what are electrolytes? Electrolytes is similar to calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium, okay? And so if you are able to supplement some of those on your own, magnesium is a very powerful one. And magnesium, I'm laughing at some of these questions. Magnesium is a natural laxative. So for those of you guys talking about things happening out of your back sphincter hole, that out of your anus, that is all that magnesium can facilitate that. So, but water is your best friend. So make sure you're drinking plenty of water, because as you are detoxing and as you are mobilizing stuff, if you start drinking more water, water is the foundation to our body. Like 70 to 80% of our body is water, and it is held in our connective tissue. And so when our connective tissue gets dry and brittle, I'm going to show you a photo of this, we don't hold water. And so we have to be able to hold water in order for our body to function the way it should. So that's what our connective tissue looks like when it's happy and healthy. But when we feel like crap and we're stuck and we can't move and all that good stuff, then that tissue starts to look like that nasty spider web in there, and things get stuck, and then you feel stiff and you can't move, and those areas cannot fill in with water. So detox, basically, when we provide the earthquake for those little cross fibers, detox is basically the substances, the molecules of toxins that are in our system are stored within those cross fibers, those adhesions, and you're finally you're finally moving them and trying to eliminate them out of your lymphatic system through your body. Our skin is one of our our skin is one of our greatest detox organs. So if you start to get acne, if you start to sweat more profusely, if you start to itch, itching is a big one, then those are all signs of detox, which is a good thing. So you want to continue to push on that. But flushing with water, because as you're losing some of that, if you're already dehydrated, it's really hard to mobilize stuff because your body has to have water in order to generate the systems to molecularly move stuff, if that makes sense. All right. Apple juice can count as water, but you got to make sure that you're drinking. I tell people this all the time. For every soda that you drink or for every juice that you drink, because you're putting sugar into the system through that, you have to drink like at least one full bottle of water for every soda or for every juice loaded with sugars that you can replenish with. And so that's kind of answers. So this is another good picture of what that webbing looks like that we're trying to shake free. Okay, so there's that web holds a lot of toxins over time. Every pill that we put in our body, all the processed food that we put in our body, everything that we have in our body, that's what we need. That's what we need to do. Okay, is to eliminate that stuff. So, all right. So from here, let's see here. Any other questions? Cassie, can you shoot me a text message with some questions that might have missed? Because I want to make sure I'm accessing those who need questions. I want to make sure that they're questions that people are asking. Okay, so adhesions. And so when we're looking at why things work the way they do, this is what our muscles look like under the scope. And those are the adhesions. And so the vibration platforms jiggle those adhesions loose, and then things flow, and then life is good. Okay? All right. So happy that you are all able to join me. If you can pop up some other questions for anybody who might have questions. Meantime, while I'm waiting for some questions to pop up, or I've got Miss Cassie and on the back end of things sharing information with me, I'm going to have her continue to share some of the questions I've already missed, but I'm going to show you today's exercise. The one thing that somebody asked me earlier is what happens if I can't get my chair up higher than it needs to be. So what I mean by that is in my videos, I show you here from this bar height stool, and if you look at my hips, okay, my hips are sitting higher than the level of my knees. And so that makes things much more comfortable, okay? And awesome. Thanks, Cassie. Okay, so from here, okay, if my hips are sitting higher, okay, than my knees, then the strain on my knees and my hips are going to be a lot less. So the higher your body is, the better. But if you don't have the comfort of standing and you want to stay more of a seated position, but you don't have a bar height stool, I'm going to show you a little hack or a little trick and how you can work that out. And so here is how a lot of you are dealing, okay? And so when we sit in a chair, yes, our hips are higher than our knees, but when we elevate our feet, okay, now you can't see my hips. Now all you see is my knees up in my mid-belly, okay? So you're going to take a pillow. I'm using a memory foam pad that I use in my gym, and I'm just going to sit it on the chair, and it's going to raise the seat height a little bit. I'm still not as high as where I need to be, okay? So hang tight. So we got a pillow here. So we're going to stack a pillow, okay? And now I'm higher, okay? So you just have to adjust your seat height as best as you can while being safe. And hopefully that will give you the comfort that you're looking for those of you that are having trouble with seat height. Let's see here. If you are, depending on which device that you are using, let me see. Yes, it is normal to itch every day. I itch every time I get on the platform. Again, I have fibromyalgia. So my body naturally creates, if you were to feel my legs actually feel like giant bubble wrap. They don't look that way, but they feel that way. And it's because of with fibromyalgia, that's just how the skin and the tissues kind of turn into this gluey, sticky, gummy bubble wrap. Okay. And the more that you can smooth that out, the better you feel, the better you move, the more toxicity you eliminate. So for me, I itch about every day. I itch in different places every day. But here lately, I've been itching more around my tummy versus in my legs. But when I first started doing this, oh my gosh, I was like walking around, and my husband's like, "What is going on? You got ants in your pants?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just itching like crazy." And it never got to the point where I would have to take Benadryl, but still didn't feel, I didn't really stop itching until I got, a few more sessions under my belt. As long as I'm able to go for, multiple days in a row. So if I do 5 days out of 7 days a week, then I don't itch if I take those 2 days off. But if I happen to take several days off, 3 or 4 days off, believe me, it does happen, 3 or 4 days off, and then I try and get on and do a workout or just stand on it, then I might itch. And I itch in different places. And itching is a good thing, okay? Yes, so you can take an antihistamine, but again, when you take an antihistamine, you're putting chemical back into the body, so you're reloading that connective tissue with more molecules of toxicity. But if you get to the point where you really can't, get over the itching, then you can use an antihistamine. I will tell you, I do a lot of massage, do a lot of cupping, which is again detoxing process, and so if you do peppermint oil, you can do diluted peppermint oil because direct peppermint oil for some can be too much in certain areas. So if you can use a carrier oil like a coconut oil, or you can even use an olive oil if you want to, or just a cream. I put it in a lot of unscented cream when I'm working on clients. If you use peppermint oil, it will actually eliminate a lot of itching. It's a natural it dissipates that itching response for the histamine process. So I'm looking at, okay. So here's a question. My daughter has the spider webbing throughout her abdominal cavity from acute pancreatitis and sepsis. Her internal organs are all spider webbed. What vibration would be most beneficial for her? Super low. Okay, so I have a young lady. This young lady is 12 years old, and she was born with her intestines on the outside of her body. And so I do a lot of different treatments for her to help mobilize the stuff going on in her midsection. And that spider webbing, there are 4 different kinds of fascial connective tissue, and the visceral connective tissue is a little different from the connective tissue that holds our skin and our fat and our muscles together. So I would start, especially being, if she's younger, if she's not adult age, but 20 or younger, I would definitely make sure and start lower level. And I would just do 3 to 5 minutes just to get started, and just have her stand. Don't have her doing any actual exercise. Just let her body vibrate. And so I would start on a low level, if you have, okay, so Eternal Bliss, can you tell me which platform you have, and I will give you a more specific answer? Because if I tell you a low level and you have RumbleX, there are 3 preset programs for RumbleX. And so if I tell you to do low level, I'm not really helping you much there. Is it okay to do a 20-minute fat blaster exercise in the morning, then do another lighter 10 minutes in the evening for weight loss? Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so Eternal Bliss with the RumbleX Pro. So see what I mean? So on the RumbleX Pro, you're going to want to use P1 or P3. I would start with P1 because P1 is going to be the entry level. P3 is going to be a little bit more challenging than P1, and P2 is going to be the absolute most challenging. Now, on the RumbleX Pro, you can also go in and use manual mode. So I've got my RumbleX Pro up right now. When you choose manual mode, you're going to choose the little button that looks like a wrench inside of a gear circle. Wrench, so go for the wrench button instead of the actual gear. You're going to tap that until you get 2 of 3 motors running, but you don't want to run all 3 at the same time. So if you get the pulsation, which looks like a little wave, you can use that in combination with the oscillation or the lateral. Okay, and it's going to feel different for each and every person. So I'm not going to tell you which one to use. I want you to have her try it, see what feels good for her, because that's the best way to go about it. And just keep it. The important thing on the RumbleX series, with the exception of the Max, if you are using this for detox, You want to stay on a speed of 1 to 20. If you're using this for detox, 1 to 20. If you are trying to do this for restless leg syndrome before you go to bed at night, use it on a moderate level, like 30 to 45 minutes before you jump into your bed, okay? But you don't want, and you might not need all 3 motors. You might be able to just use 2 motors, but you're gonna have to play with it because that spider webbing is so specific to each and every individual, and no 2 human beings are built the same way. We all have the same body parts, but we are all adhesed a little different. And we are all adhesed, just so we know we're on the same page there. We are all adhesed in some form or another. So make sure that you are using it more on a level that feels good to you. So for me, I might spend 40, 50 minutes total on my platforms during the day, not doing workouts, okay? I might teach my 20-minute workouts that I teach to my people in the morning, usually, before 10 a.m. And then I'm done doing that. But then I have clients that come in for rehab throughout the day, and I'll use the platform for rehab. So I'll teach them in a very quick demo of like 30 seconds or less. I'll show them how I want them to get on the unit, and then do their thing. And then at the later part of the day, when my daughter gets home from school, when I have a little bit of time to decompress and just think what just happened for the day, then I can go on and just relax, just stand and just relax. And then at the end of the day, usually around 10 o'clock at night, is when your growth hormone releases the greatest amount. For those that are still releasing a lot of growth hormone, it tends to go way down after we turn into our late 20s. So if you're wanting that extra little surge right before you go to bed, you can get on your device, whether you are in a seated position, a standing position, or you've got your legs propped up on it, and do another 10, 20 minutes. You can use it several times a day. You just don't want to do several workouts a day, or you're going to not feel so good later. If you're doing planks, what speed is best? The answer to that is going to be, it depends on the platform again. If you're using a Rumblex platform, do not do planks on P2. It will give you a headache, all right? Because it's too much jarring. So you can do P1, you can do P3, or you can just turn it on to the motors that go lateral. I find that when I teeter-totter, that it's more jarring on my neck and my shoulders versus the lateral shift with pulsation, a little tickle through the platform. I'm able to do anything upper body, stretching, relaxation, without it jarring me around too much, and it still does what I need it to do. So as far as the speed for planks, keep it low to medium, because you don't want all of that jarring up here. That being said, if you're doing planks and you got your hands out in front of you and your body is further away from the plate, so if you have your hands on the platform, say I do planks a couple of different ways. I do planks with my feet on the platform, I do planks with my hands on the platform, and then I do split leg planks. So you'll find that coming up, all right? So I think those are, you just have to pick which speed works for you, but I wouldn't go super, super fast. I thought we can add extra points for extra workouts we do on our own time, like walking. No, you only get 1 point a day, and that's it for participation. So this is all about not how many workouts or how many minutes you can work out. So it's not about calories out versus calories in for this. All we want you to do is get comfortable with trying new exercises. So the 21-day challenge was built for all of you to give you new ideas onto how to use your device without having to do a full-blown workout with me. Some of you might look at my workouts and be like, there is no way I'm going to be able to do that. And then you realize after we go through the next 21 days that, oh my gosh, that wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. Yes, I can do that. So that's the point. It's just to give you an idea of what you may or may not be able to do, and to build that comfort zone and that confidence level. And I'm going to hold your hand all the way through. So just make sure that you're watching each and every video, because I'm very, very thorough without winding myself and rambling on. They're very short, quick to the point, but giving you the information that you're wanting. I have the Turbo. Is that as good as Rumblex for fat loss and bone density? The Turbo and the Rumblex are going to be pretty comparable when it comes to bone density. When it comes to fat loss, in order to mobilize that spider web, in order to mobilize fat molecules, the 3 motors are, in my opinion, my professional and my personal opinion, are far better than just 2 motors. So the Turbo has 2 motors. It's more the teeter-totter and the pulse. And then the Rumblex, you're getting teeter-totter, siding, you get side to side, and then you get the pulsing. And so when you add all of that together, you're shaking, you're creating a much bigger I'm going to refer to it as a muscle quake or earthquake for your connective tissue with 3 motors versus with 2 motors. So I always recommend the Rumble X for those who are wanting to specifically jump into weight loss, because if you are very sensitive to, when you get the platform, and if the Rumble X is too powerful for you, you can dial it back to be the same level as what the turbo is. But with the turbo, you can't dial it up. You can't increase the intensity any further than when you max out the speed. So for those who have the turbo, most people who start with the turbo love them and do great. I actually started with the turbo 2 years ago, and the Rumble X wasn't out yet. And I had to wait about 6 months before the Rumble X came out before I got the first one. And that was a very long time ago. That was like a year and a half ago. So I'm actually still using that same, that's the Rumble X 4D, the one that has the big curve to it. And yeah, so it's all based on what you're wanting to do. But I will tell you, so can you lose fat on the turbo? Absolutely, you can lose fat on the turbo. It's just how you apply it. If you're just going to stand on it, and you can just stand on it, you're going to have less the change, the way that the body aligns itself in structural. You're going to have less structural change with the turbo than you do with the Rumble X, because we have 4D versus 3D. The turbo, you can only get up to 3-dimensional movement planes, whereas the Rumble X, you're getting 4-dimensional movement planes. So you're getting a lot more going on. And remember, with that connective tissue, with those fascial lines, we have 12 of those fascial lines that all come together to create the human frame. So the more that you can rattle those 12 different lines and you can mix it up a little bit to where your body has to continue to adapt, that is how homeostasis continues to jive forward, is, instead of being stagnant. Okay, super thankful that you love your Rumble X. I love the Rumble X too. People ask me all the time, what's your favorite Rumble X? And the answer is this: it is such a hard toss-up. If you are wanting really aggressive, but you're not going to do anything upper body and you're not going to get your head too close to it, the Rumble X 4D, P2, holy rumble. Like, it really rattles the cage. Much differently, in my opinion. I know we've done the testing and they're supposed to be all the same preset programs, and they are, but for whatever reason, I just really feel like the 4D with the curve is much more aggressive on the P2 setting. Like, I can feel my flubber flopping way more on that than I do my flubber flopping on the Pro on P2, and they're supposed to be exactly the same. So it's just, the one thing that we don't have control over is the laws of motion. And so you have to remember, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if you're posting your feet to the outside of that curved platform, it's driving energy through that curvature, which is driving energy up through your whole lower extremity and your glutes, your hips, your inner thighs, where if your feet are flat, you're not pushing into that curve. You have nothing to push into. So the energy travels through you so different on the Plus or on the Pro versus on the 4D. So that being said, it's not that the machine is made different. It's just natural laws of motion when you put it all together. And depending on what weight you're carrying and how connected you are, or how adhesed and glued together you are, is going to be how much you shake. And when you shake it up is when your body starts to thrive and starts to regulating things different and starts to recover better. So that's how that works. The Rumble X Max is probably the most aggressive machine that we make. It's made for somebody who's, it can be made for anybody, but I will tell you, if you are, 150 pounds or less, you're going to have a hard time keeping that machine on the ground, because it is so aggressive on some of its programs that it'll vibrate, a lot more than you're anticipating. It is made for somebody who's a heavier size. So most of our platforms have a 300 to a 330 pound capacity. The Rumble X Max is made for 550 pounds. And so when you put that kind of mass on the device, it takes beefier motors to move that kind of mass. And that's what the Max does. It has 16 different preset programs. So you have a variety of programs. But that being said, if you are somebody who's looking for variety without having to do the brain work behind it, they're not all hardcore programs. There are so many different programs. So there's more variability in that device than any other device that we have. And I think what I love about the Max is it has actually more entry-level beginner programming than it has advanced programming on it. It only has a few really, really advanced programs that just really light you up, but they really light you up as compared to the Pro. or the others, you know. So I like the Plus because it's flat at times. I like them all. I don't know if I could just pick one Rumblex because I truly love them all. And I'm thankful that I have the opportunity to try them all because, you know, my body feels a certain way one day, I'm going to go to that Rumblex. Or if I feel a certain way this day, I'm going to go to that Rumblex. If I'm working on upper body, I'm going to stay more on the Pro or on the Plus. I like the Pro for upper body much better because it's more gentle on the upper body if you're stabilizing with the hands or if your body is closer to the platform, you know, your midline, your torso. I do much better on the Pro than I do on any of the others because, again, I have fibromyalgia, so I have to be careful how much integration and activation of muscles that I'm doing with resistance training. So, you know, the more vibration, the more I have to stabilize my head and neck, and that's not always a good thing for me. So if you're wanting, you know, something that's user-friendly to everybody, really, I mean, all of our devices are really user-friendly, but if you're wanting it solely for weight loss, you're only wanting to do fat loss, you don't care about doing the programs, you don't care about doing exercises or workouts, you just want to stand on it for weight loss, then go the Rumblex 4D or go Rumblex Max, because those two are going to shake you up way more than you can imagine. And you have the ability to isolate the motors if you want to so that you don't have to shake as much. But again, when you get, you know, the others, you know, when you want to shake a lot more, you might have to go through manual mode in order to get to that energy. You know, so that hopefully that answers that question. Hi, Kathy Shelton. It's so nice to see you as well. Super excited that you've been able to join us. And thank you for watching my videos, our videos with Life Pro on Facebook and YouTube. Super thankful for you to be here today. There's been a question that came up this week, and I did a video very last minute because I was like, okay, let me make sure you guys all understand this. Yes, your house might sound like you're in the middle of an earthquake when your, you know, Rumblex or your Turbo or your Waver are on the upstairs or on an upper level. And like right now I'm in my basement, so I do most of my platform work down here in the basement, but I always keep a platform on the main level, because if I don't keep one on the main level, then my husband and my 10-year-old will not come downstairs to use it. They would rather stand on it while they're watching TV or, you know, doing, you know, what they're doing upstairs, as opposed to taking time to come downstairs and actually doing recovery. So if I leave one upstairs, they'll actually use it. And there's been times, the night I was recording some of the videos, I came downstairs and my husband was using it late at night. And I'm like, whoa, like I can't record videos right now because that sucker's really loud. So I completely understand the post when somebody said that their landlord said they couldn't use their device because it was, you know, about to break through the floor. I went through and did a video yesterday on how to soften the vibration from the sound through the floor. So you can go back and watch that. There's, if you get a non-slip yoga mat, I've actually got it right here behind the Pro because I have a slicker surface and my bar stool likes to shift. But this is a non-slip. This is a non-slip yoga mat. Okay, so super, super tacky on one side, whereas, you know, this one right here is very slick, but it's a thick mat for dampening purposes. And your, you know, some of the devices come with those thicker mats to soften it, but the only problem you're going to have with it is it doesn't keep it from sliding across the floor. So I like the non-slip mats, and I'll fold them in half so that I've got 2 layers thick. And then in worst case scenario, if you need to get yourself the big puzzle piece mat that you can get at your local sporting goods store or on Amazon for like 20 bucks. I know it's an inconvenience for $20, but it's an inconvenience to not be able to use your device for the benefit of your health. And when you look at how much medicine you might have to take for not using your device, it's worth the 20 bucks to go buy the mat. So watch that video from yesterday and you can see how that works. All right. I'm, excuse me. I'm looking at Laura Carlson, and yes, so yes, you can do it. You can do all of those every day. And so again, if you go back and watch the YouTube video on detox and on lymphatic drainage and lymphatic dynamics, fluid dynamics, if you go back and watch that, and there are a list of symptoms, I actually have a list of symptoms of what it's like to go through the detox process. And if you are experiencing some of those symptoms, or some people feel like they got hit by a truck, like within 24 hours, that means you really shook up your system. And that's great. You just have to keep going, keep moving, and not vibrate as aggressively the second time through if you're just getting started. But if you don't have any health contraindications and you want to give it, 30 minutes a day versus 10 minutes a day, absolutely work up to your own comfort zone. We just don't want you to get some heavy weights and go do an hour-long workout on the platforms, because they're doing so much more to your body than you can ever imagine. And too much of it cannot be, or is it too much of the platforms in all one time can be a real problem because of your body's awareness. So if you go to a higher level of speed, that's more activation, stimulation, fat loss. If you're using lower levels, that's more recovery, anti-inflammatory benefits. So you can use, I'm on some of my devices, 60 minutes a day, not all at the same time, but I am on them, up to 60 minutes a day, just standing and just stretching. So I don't do all workouts. In fact, every workout I've ever taught is available in the Facebook group, or you can find some of them uploaded on YouTube. But I haven't personally done a whole body vibration workout without doing it live, because I would rather multitask and share what I'm doing with others at the same time. Is it normal for the wheels and the plug receptacle to rattle when the speed increases on the Rumble X Plus 4D? Okay, so Lori, what I ended up doing, I took mine off, because yes, it can rattle. And if you're not going to use it to move it around, I carry mine around from time to time. But if it bothers you that much, just remove it. You can, there's a little screw on the end. You can unscrew it. You can slide it off. The wheels, you don't have to worry about so much. It's the, it's either the grab handle, but there's a little spinning rod there at the end. So if it bothers you that much, you can actually remove it if it bothers you. And, okay. Yeah, so I think I think I covered most all of that. Real quick before I head out, let me know, those of you that are still around, I think there's quite a few of you still here. Give me write in the post in the chat, what's your favorite exercise been so far? I'm curious, because there's a whole nother week of exercises coming up, as you know, because you get a new one every day. And what's coming is going to be really exciting depending on what you like to work. And I hope many of you, what you don't like to work, maybe you can find an enjoyment of trying a new application or a new approach to working areas that you don't normally enjoy working. I have a lot of people that come in and say, I really don't like to squat, or I'm not allowed to squat. I'd be like, okay, well, if you can't squat, how can you use the bathroom? Because you have to be able to squat to use the bathroom. So if somebody has told you you're not allowed to squat, they're full of crap. No pun intended. So, it's just a matter of perception. And so I think the 21-day challenge is more about changing the perception than it is about eliminating opportunities for you. How do you find the other videos? If you go to YouTube, then type in Life Pro 21-day challenge Amber, then they're all going to be there. And you can go back and look on. Every video is released on YouTube each morning, Eastern Standard Time. So make sure that you're tuning in on YouTube. Okay. Yes, the band on the ankle is a really good one. That's one of my favorites. I did have a question that came up the other day that I'm remembering. Forgive me for fidgeting. Let me grab my knee pad because I'm on my knees and it doesn't feel so good. All right. I had a question the other day that came up. How do you keep the band from rolling? And the answer is you can't keep it from rolling. That's just how it's made, unfortunately. That's why I keep the bands around my feet and my ankles, but anything above my mid-calf, so anything above here, I have to use the booty band, the Mark Bell hip circle. It's also referred to as a slingshot. It's got what's called grippies on the back side of it, so it doesn't move as much. Stay tight right there where you're at. Grabbing one of my original booty bands. Yeah, so on the back, it has these little grippers. So you can put them where you want them on your, on your legs, on your hips. I typically don't use them any lower than right here on my knees, but I always use them up high because I can't handle the pressure on my legs with the bands that come with the platform. But you can get that. It's a Mark Bell hip circle. You can get it markbell.com, like $20. Everything's $20, right? I love the Fat Blaster. Try a different one every day and really haven't come across one didn't like. Yeah, so that's all awesome. All right, just got the Rumble X Max and mainly have been just standing on it. May have overdone it. Upper shoulder so tense today. Try just to put arms in low vibration to help, but wow, yes, you are right. Again, that Rumble X Max can pack a punch. I have had a hard time finding setting that will allow me to put my hands and my neck and shoulders on it. So for that Facebook user, because your name's not popping up, I would highly recommend that you lay layers of the towel roll across, put layers of towels, or take a towel and fold it into thirds and just lay it there so that you can soften that vibration. Because I tried to do a couple of the videos for the 21-day challenge using the Max in the upper body, and I just switched out the device because it was too much energy for me. But that was after doing, several videos, like 10 videos in a row. And at that point, your body can only handle so much. So I just take a towel, and what I do is this right here might be too much. So if you take a towel and you do that, or you can even double it up, and it doesn't have to cover the whole platform. It just has to have something for your hands, and basically the vibration is absorbed into the towel instead of absorbed into you, and you're dissipating how much vibration you actually get. Okay. What is the fat blaster? I'm going to assume most people are talking about the booty band when we talk about the fat blaster. There is an actual thing called a fascia blaster, which is totally different. It's made by Ashley Black. We're not going to talk about that on this series, but yes, this is the Mark Bell hip circle, and then the squishy ball. I actually bought a new squishy ball because I was using the same squishy ball for almost 2 years, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was starting to get a little sticky from all the sweat from everybody I use it with. I wipe it down every time, but so this is my new squishy ball. Okay, this is the one I send a link to for everybody. And then this is the squishy ball, which is called the bender ball. So squishy ball 1, squishy ball 2. Yes, they both are really challenging on the hips, on the thighs, on the booty. So yes, so the squishy ball, if you type into Amazon 9-inch Pilates bar ball, BARRE ball, and it'll come up for about 10 or 15 bucks. 10 bucks, I think I paid $10 for this one. This one is a bender ball. It is a name brand licensed item. This one's going to cost more like 15 to 20, but I've had this one for a couple of years. So if you go to Amazon, type it onto Amazon, and it'll say, you'll type in 9-inch bar ball or 9-inch Pilates ball, and you'll find all of that. So I think that was it. Oh gosh, I'm so excited to still see all of you here hanging out. This is awesome. Okay, talking about your video called the Fat Blaster. Oh, yes. Yeah, I title my videos a little bit different from time to time. So yes, if you go on YouTube and you look up Amber Fat Blaster Life Pro, you'll find that workout. It is a true fat blaster. It is it's a one with a lot of my favorite exercises. Thank you so much, Lori, for mentioning that. It is that's one of I get heads up on those videos quite a bit from people who are using them. They really like that one. Is it truly blasting your fat? Yes, in its own kind of way, but it's lighten up a lot of structural stabilizing muscles that we don't typically use. And so a lot of people who do that workout actually end up in diminishing low back pain or sciatica pain because they start using muscles they've never used before. And those muscles are really irritated because they haven't been able to work, which eliminates the discomfort on the nerves. So sciatica is usually, more often than not, I see it as more of not using the right muscles in the butt and not having an active butt muscle. And most of us think that our butt is active, and it's really not. So that's what I like about the Life Pro platforms, is they activate the butt. Yes. So thank you so much, Carol, for sharing that. Yeah. So there's, so here's the secret. Here's the magic. Okay. I understand physics really well. I use physics every day in my world. I was a chemistry major for 2 years before I got into sports medicine and kinesiology. So if you change the height of your chair angle, meaning if you go from this chair height to this chair height, if you just lower it by 2 inches, it's a totally different workout. So you cannot get bored with the Amber workouts, because all you got to do is change your environment, which you have control over. You can change the height. You can change how much interaction is going on with your hands to the device, if you use a towel versus using yoga blocks versus just using direct. So you can do all kinds of things in order to spice up the same workout over and over and over again. And just a real quick heads up, I know a lot of you have noticed that there's no music in the 21-day challenge. I did that on purpose. But for those of you who do the Amber workouts that you find on YouTube or in the Facebook group, you're going to find music already playing in the background, because I'm a very music motivated person. And when I'm creating these workouts, I'm creating them from the top of my head. I don't have anything written down. A lot of fitness instructors will have an entire program written out, or they have rehearsed it over and over and over again. I am making it up all as I go. So music is a huge motivator for me, and I like all different varieties of music. So when you happen to come across an Amber workout type video, the Fat Blaster video, I've been doing some 80s, 90s music videos lately in order to create interest with a different group of individuals for music purposes. So if there's music that you prefer, or if there's something you don't like, because usually what I do, we have to follow a licensing process with video and music on social media and on YouTube, and they'll completely block your video if you don't have permission to use it or have a license to use it. So I contacted a couple of DJs in Europe, and they gave me permission to use their stuff, and they have a lot of stuff. So you're going to find some of the music can have some foreign language in it. Some of it is really upbeat and will shift in a direction very quickly, but I love their stuff. Sometimes I don't know what they're saying, and sometimes it's music that I recognize from here in the States. But the point is, we have permission to use it, so we don't have to fight that copyright license law. And the ones that I have used a lot of is a kickboxing remix, and we've got permission to use that as well. So I use it a lot, because when I first started teaching these videos back in April last year, I spent hours on days trying to find music that was legally able to use in a video, because a lot of my videos got blocked, and I had no idea that was going to be a problem. I was just getting started in virtual recordings. So if you like the music, thumbs up, awesome. If you don't like the music, turn it off and just follow my lead, or give me an idea of what you want. And for those of you that are loving the 21-day challenge without music, I'm so happy that you're enjoying it. And either way, make sure that you're keeping track in Gym Rat app as to what you're doing, and make sure that you're posting any questions that you have so we can touch base with you again. We have yoga on Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. if I remember right. Cassie can shoot me a message if I'm off on that. And I'm pretty confident that we have, actually, let me pull this up. I got my calendar right here. I live an hour at a time because my schedule can be a little chaotic. So, yes. So we've got our live next Friday. I'm going to be releasing 2 new pieces of Life Pro equipment coming out next Friday morning at 10 a.m. So if you are interested in watching that with me, it will be right here next Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're releasing 2 new products. I'm not going to give you any secrets, but they are totally different than anything else we've ever released. So I am excited to start practicing and playing around with those, so I know how to share and teach you guys how to use the same products. And so yoga is Tuesday night at 6 with, I believe is it Roseanne, I think is her name, or Roseanne. Fantastic instructor. So if you are looking for even more ways to incorporate into your everyday, life of how to use the platforms, even if it's for pain relief or for stretching, you can tune in for yoga next Tuesday at 6 p.m. and next Friday with me for the newest launch of two new devices that we've never released anything like them. So super excited. Those boxes came earlier this week, so I'm going to take those out and play around with those this weekend so that I can give you all the little secrets on how to make yourself the best version possible with Life Pro products. So thank you all so much here for joining. If you have questions, make sure and post them in our group chat. This video will be saved and will be shared later. So if you have questions and you want to comment under the video in the Life Pro Facebook VIP group, that's awesome. If you're not part of the VIP group on Facebook, you're missing a huge wealth of knowledge from a bunch of different individuals. And I understand if you don't like Facebook, but it is a plethora of information and commonly asked questions, success stories, people who are responding so well to our devices and are sharing their success stories gives me the inspiration and the energy to keep going. And to, being part of this is exciting. I do get paid on the backside, to help out, but I do this because I love to do this. I actually turn away my clients to spend more time with Life Pro because I know I'm making a difference in the bigger part of the world versus just right here in my facility. So I'm super excited to be able to be a part of your world and that you're conveniently jumping into our world and we can share this experience together, because when you're in it by yourself, it's so easy to get non-motivated. And I get messages, people DM me or send me messages on Messenger, or they'll text message me, I'm having a bad day, Amber, I just can't find the energy to get on my platform. And then I send them a quote or I kick them a firm boom, like right there in the mind on their text. And they're like, okay, that's what I needed to get going again. Or they just, they're frustrated because they don't know how to do something, or maybe they're injured. So I try and do what I can to help all of those of you who are trying to use our products to change your life, because it changed my life, and whatever I can use my gifts and my knowledge for, as a degreed professional in this whole world of sports medicine and exercise science, whatever I can do to help all of you, that's what I'm here for. So thank you all so much. Look forward to seeing you here in another 24 hours, because you get to see me tomorrow morning all over again for the next release of our workout. So keep track of those points. And if you don't want to keep track of points, keep moving and keep doing our stuff through the YouTube series. All right. Have a good evening. Thank you so much. Bye.